gonna present Yasin Ahmed, who is our chairman of the network, and Frida Johannes, who's a member of the network, and they're gonna do a short presentation about the network, what we stand for, and what we do. So welcome, you guys.
Hej allihopa, god morgon. Har ni sovit bra? Ja, det är många som igår var här och hade jättekul och dansat och... Eller hur? Jag syns inte, vi syns inte. Okej, välkomna. Mitt namn är Yasin Ahmed och idag är jag faktiskt väldigt stolt att stå här med dagens publicitet på Dagens Nyheter. Afrikas Horn på plattan. Så att vi vill ju att Afrikas Horn ska synas mer och mer. Därför vi har flyttat från Kistaträff till mitt i plattan. Så att våra riksdagsledamöter ska kunna höras. Se också, om en del har jättesvårt att åka till Afrikas Horn, de kan ju träffa oss här på plattan. Och vi kan dela upp våra kunskaper. Så att jag och Frida kommer att presentera Afrikas Horn på plattan. Och det här kommer att fortsätta varje år. Och nästa år så kan jag säga redan nu att vi kommer ha den större stad som är Hårsalen som ryms för 300 personer. Det här är vår igen och igen. Vi vill ha ett nytt Afrikas Horn. Och det är skönt faktiskt att idag så har vi lyckats med många timmars planering. Många som sitter här som har jobbat. Vi har faktiskt fått den här visionen på Dagens Nyheter. Och det tycker jag är ett stort arbete. Och vi kommer ännu att jobba mer och mer för att verkligen göra det. Tack så mycket.
Focus on Somalia. It is entitled Freedom of Expression in a War Devastated Country and will be held by Mr. Abdulkader Walayo. Mr. Abdulkader is a journalist from Somalia. He's also a chairperson of the Eastern Africa Media Institute. He's also a chairperson of Green Somalia, an NGO for the conservation and rehabilitation of Somalia environment. Okay, so Mr. Walayo, welcome to the stage.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this meeting, important meeting, to come together people of the sub-region exchanging views about how they see and how it's going on the freedom of expression and other related issues in the regional perspective. So, first of all, let me express my sincere gratitude to the Network for Peace in the Horn of Africa, which invited me to address its annual conference here in Stockholm. This is an important event that brought together representatives from various organizations in the Horn of Africa to exchange ideas and share experience, tackling different topics in search of societal well-being, which isn't only beneficial to the peoples of the sub-region in particular, but also important to the peoples of the African continent in general. Of course, the media, which has national agenda, those who are doing contrary to your agenda may overshadow what you are doing. Yeah? And sometimes high learning. We produce doctors in Mogadishu, medical doctors, medical schools. There's a lot of universities, all that thing. So the people are not in a state of failure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Walayo.
Our next speaker is Afrah Nasser. Actually, she was presented in the pamphlet that we're distributing as a Yemeni, but she would like to be presented as Yemeni Ethiopian. So Afrah is an Ethiopian as well as Yemeni. Afrah was born in Addis Ababa in 1985 from Ethiopia-born Yemeni parents. Welcome, Afrah.
Thank you.
Those the two things that I know of. I'm really happy to be here today, and I feel like a great responsibility after all this wonderful 21 days, and was released after I think she was like forced not to blog anymore by Assad regime. She was trying to describe
those organizations who really work for that change is the Eritrean National Council for Democratic Change that has been established in last year in the 30th of November in Ethiopia, and it elected a chairman who's really going to lead that democratic change. He is our guest of honor, Dr. Yusuf Berhanu. Welcome.
Liberation. The fate of G15, who had been incarcerated in the inhospitable El Airo and awaiting their slow death simply for having requested reform and rule of law under the aegis of the EPLF, is a case in point. Regarding the economic situation, all natural resources of the country, including land, which have been the mainstay of the majority of population for centuries, are monopolized by the regime. All finances, commerce, and investments are run either by its party functionaries or front men put in place simply to dupe and hoodwink the public into believing that the private sector is alive and growing when it is not. Since the beginning, the regime has been bent on undermining and frustrating Eritrean private initiatives, know-how and flexibility at attaining economic independence. Uncertain of the climate of the investment in Eritrea, had it not been for the nearly 1 million Eritreans working and living in diaspora, who had been sending life-saving remittances to relatives and friends now and then, Eritrea would have faced with humanitarian problems of catastrophic proportions. Still, the fate of those among the people who have no one to count on among those living abroad is debilitating malnutrition, hunger, and starvation. To our shame, begging for alms as only means of survival, which was once a taboo in the Eritrean society, in the Eritrean history and culture, has been alarmingly growing among the population, particularly among women who have lost their children to the wars.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Yusuf Berhanu. We in the network were very honored by having you, and we will do our best for really a democratic change, not in Eritrea, but in the whole region and the Horn of Africa. Thanks a lot.
A well-rounded person from the newly young country, South Sudan. Luca is also the chairman of Sudanese or South Sudanese community in Sweden. So, Luca, if you're ready, tell us about.
Thank you. First I would like to thank the Eritrean opposition chairman who was here and did a fantastic presentation. And I will start by saying, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to give you a little bit background history about South Sudan and Sudan. You can go to the next one. So this is the outline. I'll just give you a story, and then I'll go through the current situation in Sudan, both in the both in freedom of expression, the democratic change, recommendation, and questions at the last. Yes, please. Yeah, you can skip that. Yeah. This is the new nation. I think we are only 9 years old. The Republic of South Sudan. And about 10 million Arabic writers. They used to describe this area south of Sahara, from Red Sea to the west of Atlantic Ocean. That place was known to be the Sudan. And according to Hassan again, the Arabic conquest of Egypt in the 17th century AD opened the lengthy chapter of relation between Arabs and the inhabitants of the Sudan. This is how it's all started. And then I will accept your question, of course. Thank you.
Please have a seat. And now I'll present the second speaker for freedom of press in Eritrea. He's Mr. Emmanuel Sahle, born in Asmara in 1944. Mr. Emmanuel Sahle, full of wisdom, insight, and very beautifully written articles. You're welcome, Mr. Sahle, and floor is yours to present.
Thank you very much. I'm very much flattered by what you said. First of all, I would like to say I have a very weak voice. Can you hear me now? Okay. My thanks go to the Network for Peace for inviting me here. I live in Herling, given out by the king or by the rulers. We had our own traditional baitos where the people discussed things, and they had the decrees of the emperor or the ruler read to them, and they would transmit or pass information from one group to the other. And then we had the award, also the decree, where the town crier, as they said they had in Europe, he would have a very big drum and just goes around announcing what has happened and what the king wants of the people. And then we have songs. In Eritrea, whenever there's some kind of happening, war, battles or something like that, songs are sung by girls beating their drums to tell what happened, just like what we had in the Bible when King David defeated this army, and the girls were singing with their drums, telling the people that in such and such battle so many people died, or this one defeated, or that one was beaten. And the last one is a pilgrimage. That's a Nigdet. Whenever there is a pilgrimage for a patron saint.
2011, His Excellency is the ambassador of Sudan to Sweden, and he's married, of course, have 5 children. Please, have your seat. And His Excellency is going to speak about freedom of speech in Sudan out of state perspective. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Well, I would like to express my gratitude for the network for inviting me and giving me this golden opportunity to address this forum on such an important issue for the states of the region. I hope that my presentation will be a contribution which should be completed by questions and debates. Well, the issue is the freedom of speech in Sudan out of a state perspective. Well, let us at the outset, define the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, unrecognized in international human rights law, in the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. This means the ICCPR. Article 19 of the ICCPR states that everyone shall have the right to hold opinions without interference, and everyone shall have the right to freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds, regardless of frontiers, either orally or in writing or in print, in the form of art or through any other media of his choice. Article 19 goes on to say...
Okay, thank you very much, Your Excellency. It was very informative, and I hope we will have you the next year also with us. We will continue to have these seminars and conference for the benefit of all. Before we conclude, we are going to give our prominent guests a little present to remember us even for next year. Please, our guests, can you... Yeah, we are going to begin with His Excellency, our Mr. Ambassador, please. Yes, Dr. Yusuf Berhano, please. Mr. Abdelkader Walayo. Mr. Luca Timothy. Mr. Emmanuel Sahle. Mr. Krister.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Last but not least, Miss Afrahi. She is not here, but we are going to give her a present also. Okay. The present says Abdurrahim looks like this, so everyone can see that.
Pictures of Stockholm.
Yeah, in the name of the network, we will also give a little present for our chairman, Yasin, who have done a very important work here. Please, Yasin Ahmed. Vill du säga några ord, Yasin?
Ja, visst. Den här tacksamheten, jag tror det är inte till mig utan det är till nätverket. Jag kan säga så här, jag tror på möten. Möten förändrar människor och människor förändrar världen. I believe in meeting. Meeting change people and people change the world. This is thankful it's not for me. this was the whole network. But I am very glad after 6 years with these wonderful people from the Horn of Africa, from other countries working together to put the Horn of Africa from Shista Tref to middle in the center of Plattan, African Sumon Plattan here in Sergels Torg. I believe next time we will see many politicians will sitting here. We will see the foreign minister will sitting here discussing the Horn of Africa. But this is, we have to work hard to do it together. I am very, very thankful that you come and enrich our annual conference. And I believe that one day we will be the citizen of the Horn. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very, very much.
We want to see a new Horn of Africa, peaceful, democratic. Vi vill se ett nytt Afrikas Horn. Fredligt, demokratiskt. Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.